thing that's interesting about the NFC West is it's fantastic. It's very competitive. And you could honestly make an argument for any team that they're the best or that they're the worst. So I think it's cool. Let's go team by team and see how the Niners match up, starting with the Arizona Cardinals. Who is better, the 49ers or the Cardinals, and why?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the 49ers for obvious reasons. I mean, they beat them at the end of last year with C.J. Beathard. But I do think this Cardinals team is better than last year. I think they have a couple of things that they didn't have last year. And I think it starts with the fact that I thought Zaven Collins, while I didn't love the pick at 16, I think he's a really good player. And I think he's going to help their defense. And I think for them this year, having an actual role for Isaiah Simmons, because like Isaiah Simmons struggled early in his rookie year, but when they played him at middle linebacker at the very end of last year, I thought he played pretty well as just a middle linebacker. So
they're going to have Isaiah Simmons and Zaven Collins inside
as their middle linebacker.
Very athletic.
Chandler Jones coming back is always going to make a big difference. He's an absolute beast. I actually think Marcus Golden. I think AJ Green still has something left in the tank. Call me crazy, but I think he can come and help them and contribute. I like Rondale Moore to them. I think it adds an explosive element to their offense that they've been missing.
Sort of what Andy Isabella was supposed to be, right?
Right. Their only explosive element to their offense is Kyler Murray. So I think Rondale Moore adds that. In terms of Christian Kirk's always been a really, really solid, fine player. And then I still have questions about their secondary and corners. But in terms of franchise-type players, in terms of all-pro players, the Cardinals have 3 players that are elite, in Chandler Jones, DeAndre Hopkins, and Budda Baker. I mean, Budda Baker, in my opinion, is the best safety in the NFL. Just an absolute stud. So I think that the Cardinals do have a lot of talent. I'm a big Kyler Murray fan, but obviously Kyler Murray's second half of last year was less than. Now you can attribute it to the left shoulder injury, which is what I do. Or if you're not as high on Kyler Murray, you can attribute it to his inconsistencies processing and his inability to
figuring him out a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. And his inability to see. So, it just depends. I still think the Niners are, better, and I think that's because the coaching department, I just think at least when Robert Saleh was here, Kyle Shanahan and Robert Saleh seemed to have figured out. I think Vance Joseph actually did a better job against Kyle Shanahan than most. But
Vance did well last year. Yeah.
Right. Robert Saleh even game 1, I thought he did pretty, and actually no, game 1 was a struggle. Never mind. Not putting your hands on DeAndre Hopkins and not really spying Kyler Murray was rough. But I thought week 14 or week 15 did they play the Cardinals? Was it week 16?
Yes.
I thought it was one of his better game plans of the entire season. They absolutely ate that Cardinals offense for breakfast. And that was with the defense that was missing just about everybody. It was Jason Verrett, Jimmy Ward, and Fred Warner. And then the rest of the defense was all backups, third stringers, unheralded guys, and they made it happen. So can D'Amico
offense is slow, like you said. Yeah. And I think whenever I watch him, I'm like, Kyler Murray's fast, but he's waiting for Larry Fitzgerald to run downfield Rondale Moore should be really big for them. We were talking, it seems to me that we don't really trust their general manager, Steve Keim, to build they're not going to be the kind of team that's good every year. But they do have Kyler Murray in a rookie deal in year 3, which is like the most dangerous you can be, pretty much. And they've made these kind of 1-year win now moves with AJ Green and JJ Watt. Do you feel like this could be a 1-year wonder team, or did they play themselves with some old injury-prone players and they're going to be 7 and 9 and 10 again?
So I think there is a scenario where they could be that team. I just wouldn't bet on it because I think if you did a 10-time sample size, they would maybe be that team once or twice, and 8 times they wouldn't be that team. And I think it's part of it is just this division.
Yeah.
The Cardinals don't match up with the Rams ever. The Rams always just kill the Cardinals. Oof. The Cardinals' best matchup has always been the Niners in this division. And I just think that the Niners last year, especially the end of last year, like that game was concerning to me. The fact that it felt like Robert Saleh finally, like he just got him. It felt like the Cardinals had no answer offensively last year. And I don't think Rondale Moore and AJ Green are the answers to solving that question. I still have questions whether they can run the
James
ball.
Conner.
Right. The thing that always stood out to me, the reason I was maybe a little higher on Cliff Kingsbury after his year 1 is because I thought he figured out a way to run the ball. Kenyon Drake, people thought he was fantastic at the end of that year. Kenyon Drake, like everybody thought like, oh my God, the Cardinals have a real running game. And then last year, the running game was basically if Kyler Murray can't run, then they can't run the football.
Yeah.
And that's a real problem to me. So for all those reasons, I just don't trust this team. And eventually, like, I just think the Niners are just better than them.
I think that was a very good answer.